Big weekend, Brittany.
Yeah, what a big and happy weekend. Let's take a look at today's Top Talkers. Fans all around the United States are waking up with smiles on their faces after the United States women's national team bring home the World Cup trophy. Finally! The lead started in the 3rd minute with a beautiful goal from Carli Lloyd off a free kick taken by Megan Rapinoe. A mere 2 minutes later, off a corner kick, Julie Johnston flicked it to Carli Lloyd, who put the ball in the back of the net for her 2nd goal. So amazing. 10 minutes later, a cross was played, poorly defended, and Lauren Holiday smashed a volley to make it 3-0. And once again, 2 minutes later, Carli Lloyd caught the Japan keeper out of her goal and shot it from half field to score herself a hat trick and the United States' 4th goal. Eventually, Japan woke up and scored their 1st goal, followed by an own goal against the U.S. in the 2nd half. And just minutes later, Tobin Heath scored off another corner. The final score between the two teams was 5-2. Great revenge for the United States after their loss against Japan back in 2011, when the trophy slipped between their fingers as they lost the final in a shootout. Now, the really cool thing about this, not only did the United States win, but there were a ton of records broken in this. I probably didn't get all of them, but I'm going to go through them. Number 1, this is the 3rd World Cup title for the U.S., which is more titles than any other women's team, which is incredible. Germany has 2, we had 2, and this was our 3rd. Number 2, the quickest goal scored in women's World Cup history in the 3rd minute by Carli Lloyd right there. Oh, so exciting. Number 3, highest scoring World Cup final. It was 4, but now total goals. There were 7 total goals in this, and the previous record was 4. Number 4, most goals scored by a player in a World Cup final, which is Carli Lloyd. That was her 3rd goal right there for a hat trick. Number 5, USA has the most goals scored in women's World Cup history with 112. That Tobin Heath goal beat out Germany, who had 111. Number 6, Carli Lloyd was the Golden Ball recipient, which means you were the best player of the tournament. Number 7, Hope Solo received the Golden Glove, which means you were the best keeper of the tournament. Number 8, this one's a little bit heartbreaking. Shutout streak was a mere 6 seconds away from breaking the record at 540 minutes. So they hadn't been scored on in 540 minutes. They were only 6 seconds away from beating Germany. Wow. So they technically tied it, I guess, but they were only 6 seconds away from beating Germany.
Yeah. I guess we can't have it all.
It was
we can't have it
incredible.
All,
I can't even. It was. I had no words. We were just screaming.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even.
So as I was saying this morning, I said that Brittany has really kind of converted me into a soccer fan. Yes. And so I was texting her throughout the game. And at the very beginning, you know, when I think it was the 3rd goal, not knowing that much about soccer, I was going to text her saying, is this normal? Like, does this normally happen? And before I could do that, I can't remember exactly what you said, but I could tell that you were very close to having a heart attack. So I was like, clearly this is not normal. Clearly this is an exception.
We were sitting on our couch, and with each goal, it was like more and more exciting. I mean, in the 3rd minute. Yeah. The 3rd minute, and that was my favorite goal, was the first goal that was played off of our free kick. It was on the ground to Carli Lloyd. It just went through everybody. It was just beautiful, and we were screaming. And then with each one, we got just a little bit more excited. By the 4th goal, I didn't know what to say. Yeah. I was just shocked. It was so incredible. We came out. Japan, they didn't. You know, they weren't awake in the beginning.
It didn't seem like it. But
Japan, the thing about Japan is they never give up. I mean, after the 16th minute, we got outscored 2-1. Right. You know, but still, you can't get behind 4-0 that early in a match. Yeah. And then Carli Lloyd from half field, having the confidence, which she had scored 2 goals, and just the thought process to look up and see that the keeper was that far out. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was a great game.
It was really incredible. Great. So finally, they're bringing the trophy home. They hadn't won since 1999, so they're bringing it back. Bringing it back.
What is it, 16 years later?
16 years later, and last year we lost to Japan, 2011, which it stunk because we had kind of dominated that game, but lost in PKs because we missed a lot of them. Yeah. So it was nice. Sweet, sweet revenge, finally bringing the trophy home. And then Abby Wambach, Christy Rampone, their last game, which was really sad to see.
That was nice that they were the last two that
Yeah.
received the cup at the very end. It was very, you could definitely feel the emotions running very high, even, you know, sitting back.
Little
and
girls,
watching.
little boys,
That's right.
people around the world were just crying,
Very
seeing them
excited.
take the field for the last time.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great Sunday. It was a great game.
Yeah.
All right, well, folks, if you were not watching the World Cup, you might have been at the movies. And if you were at the movies, odds are you were watching Jurassic World.
Again?
Again, there are no signs of extinction for the top grossing film of the year, folks. Even with 3 new movies debuting for the holiday weekend, the latest in the Jurassic franchise still came out on top of the box office with $30.9 million, bringing its total domestic earnings to $558 million. It eked past the Disney Pixar film Inside Out, which brought in $30.1 million. Now, as for those other movies which debuted last Wednesday, Terminator Genesis came in third with $28.7 million, followed by Magic Mike XXL, which received $12 million. Reviews have not been favorable for either, especially the latest in the Terminator franchise. RogerEbert.com calls the film, quote, scattered, clanging, and unwieldy, stating that Schwarzenegger has become a parody of himself and that he has essentially become McBain. If you are a Simpsons fan, you get that reference. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 27% rating, complaining about the fact that the film actually muddles with the timeline of the mythic franchise, that it almost cheats in its storytelling. Critics also not won over by Magic Mike's sequel, as they were with the original. Entertainment Weekly called it, quote, a stilted road trip ramble with a storyline far shaggier than its scrupulously manscaped stars. Richard Roper wins the prize for his review, saying that, quote, sitting through Magic Mike XXL is like being a sober straight guy at a drunken bachelorette party where you not only have to sit through an endless medley of Cirque du Soleil meets Chippendales dance routines, you have to listen to the dancers talk about life in between routines. Kill me now. End
Oh
quotes.
my God.
Richard Roper clearly not a fan of Magic Mike XXL. Now, in case you're wondering, rounding out the top 5 was Seth MacFarlane's Raunch Fest Ted 2. That brought in $11 million.
You know, from hearing that, I am ready to see Magic
ready to
Mike.
see it.
That
See?
sounds like my dream come true.
and that's the thing, exactly. It maybe not necessarily is a bad review. You're like, perfect. I'm going. That's great.
This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
my blockbuster.
And I mean, obviously, if you go in looking for a life-changing event to happen either in Terminator Genesis or Magic Mike XXL, we got to take the step back and talk about what movies are all about. But it clearly, I think the movies performed as they expected. I don't think people at this point are still expecting Jurassic World to be #1. I think that they were hoping, and you know, even Inside Out, maybe potentially taking it, but no, there is no stopping Jurassic World.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I still haven't seen it.
I still haven't
still want to see it.
Yeah, I was very close to watching it this weekend.
Okay.
I had other things come up, but I was very tempted to get out and see Jurassic World. Clearly, a lot of people still getting out and seeing it. I mean, it's just there are no other movies that can beat it as of yet. We'll see what it's going to be like within the next couple of weeks, but clearly this movie has, it may be at the top of the charts until Star Wars comes out. Who knows?
Yeah, I know, right? All the way till December. So if you guys saw any of those movies, let us know how they were. Let us know what your brilliant review of it was.
Yes, I want to hear some brilliant reviews on Magic Mike XXL.